Everyone, we're live. This time we are. Sorry, I made a little mistake. Yes, last night, or not last night, but the stream was incorrectly set to last night. Anyway, but here we are on actual Monday. Of course, I am joined by Tarik, and today we're talking about AI, large language models, vibe coding, all these kinds of things. And what you can do with that in combination with live and video sync. Isn't that right, Tarek?
Yes, that's absolutely correct indeed. Yeah, it's what a confusing subject, but yeah, let's dive in. See what we
Yes,
can do with this. Yeah, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, do you use it a lot yourself?
Um, Actually, the only time that I did something with generative AI was when I made this thumbnail of me being super muscular
Oh,
for promoting this live stream. And that's the first time that I did something with a generative AI. I've not been super interested in that myself, personal opinion, personal whatever, or just what I've had time for. But I've been using it a lot for coding. Gotten to know it also for instance, for it to check the tone of my emails. Like if I'm writing an email and I feel like it's kind of a difficult thing for me, then I try to see if it sees that I'm being kind of defensive, and then those kind of things, like sort of like vibe checking my words. Yes, so I've been using it quite a bit
vibe
and
checking.
trying. Yeah, yeah, indeed, vibe checking, vibe coding. Yeah, but also trying not to. It's also been a really interesting journey to understand how amazing it can be in certain ways and how incredibly stupid it is and probably will remain forever in some other ways as well. I can like straight away go into why I like. Okay, this is not a philosophy class, and I'm not a great philosopher, but I still want to say why I think that AGI is a bullshit term. That AGI can never be achieved. That's just because AI is so fundamentally different from what a human being is. There will never be a moment where it has reached human level intelligence. It is already much smarter than humans, and it's already much dumber than humans, depending on which angle you take. I think that will always be the case. AGI sort of like assumes that there is this equality, and I think that's dangerous, and that's why we shouldn't ever fully trust it. But we can use it if you're smart. That's what I think.
Does that mean we're smart?
It's very hard to be smart because AI is super seductive, and yeah, it's very seductive to make all kind of decisions for you. And yeah, that's going to be our downfall, unfortunately.
Yeah, true. Well,
Yeah,
I guess that's the adventure of tonight.
yeah,
To see where it can take us,
yeah,
mislead us, or help us.
yeah.
It's been immensely helpful for me personally, but in a lot of different ways. But yeah, I'm not here to dwell on that too much. But yeah, it's it's clear that it's here to stay, and it's good to talk about it and to see what's possible with it. Um, Hopefully in the best way possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what's your plan? What are we doing?
Uh, I am going to share my screen, and then I'm going to ask Claude.ai to write a shader for me and a visual effect. And we take it from there, also with the help of your whatever comes to your. I'm talking about the chat people. Hi, chat people.
Hi, chat
Whatever
people.
comes to whatever comes to your brains and everything. Please shoot it at me. We can just explore in all kind of directions. It's going to be perhaps even more adventurous than it normally is.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I guess yeah. So let's share my screen, I guess.
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, and it's we're not alone here tonight. That's for sure. Thanks for joining,
Uh,
everyone. Um, and if you have anything to say or to ask, you know what to do.
yes. Okay, cool. We're seeing my screen right now.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I see
Um,
stuff.
yes. So I started Ableton. That's all I did so far. Let me now start video sync as well. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, this is just me having not told things properly. Let's just see that the connection works properly right now. It's dragging the gradient effect in here. Yes, great. Cool. Then let me take the checkerboard away for now. Okay, so we are going to explore the power of AI through the power of our own ISF shader, which is this effect that allows us to take text files and generate images out of them. So let me just, yeah, so I just drag this in here into this track. Let me delete the unused track. Shader. Shader, little visual program that can do stuff for us, that can show images for us. And so I'm going to show the generators, just so I can show a little bit. So here we got ourselves a shader. And it's moving and has parameters, and I can change all kind of stuff here, which is great. And I can edit the file. Oh, it's opened on my other screen. Let me drag it in here. Yes. And in this file, we see a whole bunch of, here we see parameters that are being defined. We see, for instance, that there's an X rotate, there's an I rotate, Y rotate, there's a morph. And I'm going to now look into Ableton Live again. And here we see also X rotate, Y rotate, Z rotate, morph. So the text inside this file, translates to parameters in Videosync and on Ableton Live. And here we see a whole bunch of code, which is basically telling all the pixels which colors they need to be and how they need to respond in time towards parameters and time itself and all that kind of stuff. And if I just say here, if I do multiply with this star sign times 0.25, or I can say divided by 4, then we get a very dark image. Divided by 3, a little bit lighter, 2, or if I say times 200, we get a very bright image. This is just to show that here we have a text file that generates this image, and immediately we get to see the result in real time as we are working with that. Also, if I'm going to make a mistake here, I'm going to write literally the word mistake. Of course, the computer will have no idea what to do with that. So save, black, and here we see an error. I can select these, so I'm just clicking on this, shift click on this, I'm doing copy, and just to demonstrate that I can paste it as well, so I did Command C for copy, Command V for pasting. This will come into play later. Just so you know, you can just copy and paste the error messages. Yeah, so that is the very small little... Hey, wait, what's wrong right now? I saved. Why is it... Oh, okay, mistake. Right, and now it's saved. Great, and it's good again. And I can clear this log by clicking on this little garbage bin. So now we have a clear log. Great. Now let us go into making our own shaders through generating this type of text with Claude. I'm going to first start with just using Claude online, and then I'm going to go to using Claude Code. But I'm going to start with just showing how you can use Claude online, because that is free to a degree. It's free to use for everybody. Everybody can use Claude up until you reach a certain level of tokens. So this is just available to anyone who registers to Claude. So that's what I'm going to show right now. First, user folder, because we got the factory folder, which has all the shaders that that you get with Videosync itself. There's also the user folder, which right now does not contain any generator.fs files or any fs files. Okay, so I want to make some. I'll make one. Open. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Okay, ISF shaders. I'm just going to. Actually, no. Let me show you how you go to the correct folder. You go to user library. You go to Videosync, and here we have ISF shaders. And so there we have our factory and our user folder. So I can also open a folder like this, show in Finder. This is the user folder. Let me double click on it. And I can go to the factory folder, also show in Finder. Come on. Show in Finder. And let me just drag a file from here. Let's get this out of the way. Into the user folder. So I'm dragging and now holding the Alt button to just copy it. So you see the plus appear when I hold the Alt. That's for copying it. I'm going to call this one cube because I already decided that I want to make a cube. And let me just open this so it has this text. I'm just going to empty it. I did this just in order to create an empty file because unlike on Windows, on Mac, you can't easily just say make a new file. So that's why I did this method. So here we see cube and it says can't read the content of cube.fs. Yeah, so it's a little bit confused. That's fine. It's empty. We can live with that. We're going to fill this up with text soon enough. So let us open a window. Dragging it in here. Claude.ai. Great. How can I help you today? Let's just dive right in. I want an ISF shader that shows a cube. Yeah, by the way, the reason also that I'm using Claude Code specifically is because, yeah, because it's actually really good at coding also specifically. And also because I kind of like the company Anthropic as well, which is made, it's a company founded by people who stepped out of OpenAI, which is the one that has ChatGPT. So people who thought that ChatGPT was being too unsafe and too irresponsible in terms of like how they were rolling it out and kind of effects it can have on society and all that kind of stuff. Those people thought, no, we want to make our own company. So they made Anthropic. And they tend to be quite a lot better in a lot of ways, ethically speaking, at least I think so, than OpenAI is. So I think that they're both better and nicer. So that's nice that those two can go together sometimes. So not edit file. I go to cube.fs, paste this, what I just had from, okay, sure, I should say a little more clear what I did here. So it made the ISF file. I clicked copy. I put it in here. I have no idea what this code is. I'm clicking save. And I'm going back to live again. Let's see what happens here. So we got cube. Hey, that's great. Well, that was not guaranteed that I would get it right in the very first go. But yeah, that's great. We got ourselves a rotating cube. Getting on here. Let's also take this off. So great, we got ourselves. Yeah, we've gone 3D without any coding. That's great. And yeah, what shall we do with this cube right now? I think that what I would like to do is take the webcam image and put it on top of these sites. And by the way, if there's any other comments or any other suggestions, Jean-Paul, I trust you to let me know. I'm not myself checking the chat, but yeah, just let me know whatever comes in. Okay. Yes. So we go to instruments. I'm going to take my external in. Oh yeah, let's put that on this track. I'm going to put the shader after the external in. So What I did is I just took this device external in. Let me turn off the ISF shader by clicking on here for a second. I took the external in. I'm saying video from the camera. Yes, allow. This is me. And I am now turning the ISF shader on again. Now the image that comes from external in will go into the shader, and that means also we can do stuff inside the shader with that incoming image. At this point, we have not instructed it to do anything with the incoming image, so you're not seeing it. But what I, for instance, could try to do is ask Claude Code to take the incoming image and put it on all the sides of this cube. So let's go back to this little thingy over here. I try to be nice to it. Please let's it take the incoming image and publish, put it, paint it, and place it on each of the cube's sides. It might also actually be nicer to you if you say please. I'm not sure what the scientific proof is there, but with all the words that you give an AI, you do put it in a certain frame of mind is not the right word because it doesn't really have a mind, I think so at least, but you do put it in a certain sort of type of like mode. Like you can get it into more combative modes, you can get it into more politically left-wing or right-wing modes, depending on how you're massaging it. So I also believe that if you're kind of like nice and perhaps also intelligent and perhaps articulate to it, it might also become a little bit smarter back to you. But this is also to some degree just me assuming things.
There was one question, by the way, in the meantime, which is .fs a standard format for shaders, or are there other kinds?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. FS is the standard format. I mean, there's actually also a whole bunch of other, because you got OpenGL. Yeah, you got GLSL language. This is GLSL. You also got HLSL, and you got I guess also DirectX shaders. There's a bunch of stuff that I don't even know about that. So yes, there are a bunch of different shaders. There's also shaders that work more directly, that work in 3D. This, however, is also actually showing you a 3D shape, but yeah, that's kind of hard to explain all the difference. Let me just say, like, yes, there's a bunch of different ones. Once you dive into those rabbit holes, it's rewarding. You can do a lot of amazing stuff with it. But the kind of shader that we're now working on is called a fragment shader. And in this fragment shader, generates code that tells every single pixel that you see on screen exactly what to do. So not all shaders work like that. There's also some shaders that take points in 3D space or generate points in 3D space and then tell them how to move in 3D space. This is specifically for what should every pixel be doing inside the space. And the code that we are not writing but generating here is creating a three-dimensional image, but it's doing this through the fragment shader methods. There's fragment shader.
Right.
General, yes.
Okay. And ISF shader, this device from Videosync, it only works with fragment shaders, right? In this.
Oh, actually, it also works with vertex shaders, the 3D shaders. It actually works with those as well. Though I've never myself experimented with Videosync's ability to work with vertex shaders. But there is definitely a possibility to do that. Some of the shaders that we even provide here also have vertex shaders with them. But yeah, that's not something I'm going to dive into right now, just because I don't know enough about it at this point in time. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for answering anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so I just copied again. So again, gonna paste. Hey, yeah, that's good. It's still weird for me that this works because yeah, things aren't supposed to be this easy. At least not what I'm used to. Okay, so we got ourselves this like nice cube with me on it. What shall we do with this? Or have any ideas been coming in the chat just yet?
No, not yet in particular. But I'm curious because ISF stands for interactive shader
Yes,
format.
yes.
Is it interactive already?
Hey, that's a lovely question. Thank you, Jean-Paul. Yes.
Oh wow.
So here we see that it is interactive. I'm actually going to go into the code. As I showed earlier on, here in the very beginning, you see that there's this. It's not really code, but This is basically an instruction to Videosync and to Ableton and to whatever the ISF interface is, what the parameters are. So I'm going to try and have these next to each other. Okay, let us. Take this away and take this away. Great. So now we see here the parameters: rotation speed, cube size. And these parameters, cube size, for instance, I'm going to go a little bit further down here. Here we see cube size, for instance. So we see how the parameters are being defined here. So I have a floating point number, which means you got integer numbers, which are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So whole numbers, and you got floating point numbers, which can be 0 0.4 or 0 0.356, whatever. So we have a floating point number called cube size, and we're using that inside this code. The minimum is 0.1, the maximum is 1.0. So that is so this little bit of text is being interpreted by Videosync, in the end resulting in this parameter over here. Oh, no, sorry, this is rotation speed, cube size, and this parameter over here doing this. Yeah, so you can, I can, for instance, ask Claude for another parameter that's going to make me let me round these corners, for instance. So going back to okay, I want a parameter called spherishness that rounds the corners, and when it's on max, the cube should be a perfect sphere. I'm really curious whether it's going to do that or not. Oh yeah, also actually what I'm kind of hoping for right now is that it will at some point make an error so that I can start debugging the code together with Claude, because that's definitely an aspect of this creating of shaders that I also want to show. Nice. Doing this quite quickly. Presenting files. What are you doing? Okay. So again, copy. We go into selecting all, pasting, save. Okay, same as before, but let us see if he says. Do we see it here? Okay, it might be that the parameter is not mapped to one of these knobs yet. Because okay, let me show you. If I click on this wrench, you see all the parameters that actually exist within the shader. Here, so this is basically just a little window, a pop-up window that shows all the parameters. These cannot be directly automated because basically Ableton Live has no knowledge of what's inside this window. Ableton Live does have knowledge of what is in this window. And in order for the Ableton's knowledge for instance, of spherishness to arise, we can click on map, and now we see spherishness became a thing here. So I can unmap it and I can remap it, or I can also just say map all, and now we have everything. I can also say unmap all and maybe map it all again. So yeah, you see how this all becomes mapped and unmapped. So this is also good to know. For instance, if you would have a really complex shader which has 36 parameters, generally that could mean that you took things a bit too far and you can simplify things. But maybe it's exactly what you want. Like, who am I to tell you what to do? Like, everybody has their own situations. So if you have 32, then you might want to make a choice which ones you can map. Because from our side, we can only give you 16. That's the max, right, Jean-Paul? I can do plus to see what the maximum is.
Yeah, the max is 16.
Yes, exactly. So this is 16. You can also go minus to make it a little bit more. Yeah. Nice. This now is also turning to a bit of a tutorial for ISF Shader, which is nice. Okay. Spherishness. We are all on the edge of our seats. At least I am. Let's see. Oh my God, look at this. It's becoming nicely rounder. And beautiful. Nice. Uh,
Wow.
yes.
It did it, everyone.
Yeah, it did
Woo!
it. Yeah. And look how it's even creating the, I didn't even ask for any shadows, but it's giving this nice little shadow here as well,
Yeah.
which I guess I can make even clearer by, let's do an effect here.
It's like there's a light shining from the top.
Yeah, indeed. Let's do this. Yes, now I just made a one. Yeah, now you see it perfectly. Okay, I guess we can now, now that I see this beautiful half moon, we can play with the lighting maybe. Yeah, shall we? Uh,
Did get like one question in the meantime, which is
oh, that's good.
can you make like a fractal or something around the cube, or in this case, the
Huh.
sphere? I'm not really sure what that means, but maybe Claude does.
Yeah, exactly. We can just ask. That's also like one funny thing. You can just ask it a question that you yourself don't even know how to interpret, but just see what comes out. Okay, so can you literally word for word tell me, Jean-Paul, what the question was?
Can you make like a fractal or something around the cube?
Yes, or something around the cube. Yeah,
Let's go.
it's also nice to make the questions perhaps weirder and weirder until at some point it's going to screw up, so you can see how to deal with screw ups.
Let's see what surrounded by fractal geometry.
Yeah, it's definitely doing something.
It's okay, Antonio. Saying Lolo like a background. My bad.
I can of course I can be the medium between you and Claude Code if you want. I can just lol like a background. My bad. I can also tell that to.
Yeah, that could be the next prompt.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're disappointed.
Yeah, it would actually be interesting to see what happens if we make this thing itself into.
The manager sponge. Oh, let's go.
I can download it. No, I'm fine. I just copy it, copy it, and back here. Save. Okay. So it's still working. Uh, okay, fractal intensity. It's not really doing anything right now. Not that I can see. Because spherishness does do something. Let us reduce the cube size. Yeah, okay, so that's not really doing anything. What I can do right now, actually, yes, because I guess we now get the idea of how this works with copy pasting. I'm going to open the terminal because I want to show also how this works when you use Claude Code, which is my normal way of working.
I'm just curious, what if you turn off the input right now? So your webcam external in. What do we see then? Oh, just a black square. I was maybe thinking maybe it was drawing on top of it or something.
Yeah. Or if I do the gradient, no.
Nope.
Okay.
No fractal thingies.
Not yet. Okay.
Oh well.
Oh, but actually, right now, of course, I don't want to yet go immediately into Claude Code because it is this instance of Claude that now currently has some concept of what it was trying to do. So I can tell this instance of Claude also that it was failing. You failed. I am not seeing any fractal shape. You failed. No, that's nasty. Yet. Yeah, and if it doesn't get it right now, then I'll just move into the Claude Code version.
Sure. Meanwhile, you're using Sublime Code, I believe, right, for the code editing.
Sublime text.
Text. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Somebody asked in chat, what do you open the FS file with? Sublime Chat, I think it's free to download.
Yeah.
Sublime.
Sublime chat, Sublime code, Sublime text. Sublime text.
Text.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a nice one. And you don't necessarily need it. Like I could also do this in I don't know a text edit or something like that. This is just
sure.
Yeah.
Just your average code editor.
Yeah. Nice that it shows line numbers. So that's it's nice for coding.
Yeah. Yeah, but indeed, like when you press edit in ISF Shader, if you don't have an app like that, select it to open FS files by default. It will ask you the first time what it should open the file with. But if you just select a text editor like that, then it should remember that for next time you press edit file.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if you're gonna see anything right now. No, huh? No, that's too bad. I didn't even know we had light intensity. Okay. Okay, so no fractal for us right now just yet. We're gonna go to Claude Code. Let's see. I'm gonna say I'm gonna now revert back to earlier. So I'm gonna go to earlier in the chat. To right before I ask about the fractal, I'm gonna go to cube spheres again, clicking on this, so I get the code back from before I tried to implement the fractal, and I'm going to copy paste just so that now that I go to Claude Code, it won't get too confused. Where do I want to go? Let's see. I'll go just run Claude. Claude. Yes, you have permission to run this, to go into this folder. So as you can see, this is in the terminal. I'm actually going to make the text here a little bit bigger so that people can actually read this. And now I'm going to ask it to edit the code. So first I want to go to Ableton Live again. I want to see where I even have this file. So open up this little browser icon. Here we have Cube. Let's see, information, Cube. Open and closing folder. And there we are, Cube. Now I'm going back to the terminal. And I'm going to say, just going to ask it, can you read? And then I'm just going to drag this over here. I think that will just give me the folder. Great. Just ask it to be sure if it can read what's inside my drive right now. And Claude Code is quite easy to install. I think you can, I'm not sure if you can use Claude Code when you're using free Claude. I'm not 100% sure. Might be, might also not be. But for now, this is just a way to do in a little quicker iterations, what I was just doing with the browser. Okay, so it's just describing this thing is telling me about the input images, it's telling me that it's a fragment shader that creates a Raymar's 3D cube that can morph into a sphere. Great, you got exactly right what I'm doing right here. Now I'm going to ask this one again. Can you please, give this a background that is a fractal, something like that? Do we want to try it? Do we want to try making it a 3D fractal? Yeah, that's right. Is a 3D fractal. Oh, Mandelbulb. That's great. I actually don't even know really what a Mandelbulb is. I just know. Okay. Do you want to make this edit to cube? I'm now gonna type 2. Yes, allow all edits during the session. 2. You see, by the way, that it just disappeared right now, that errors are appearing here. The errors are appearing here now because Claude Code is now directly editing that file. And in the middle of the editing, of course, the code isn't complete yet. So it's doing stuff and it's changing stuff and waiting for a little bit. Okay. Maybe ask it to do something complicated. Then it's going to take a little bit longer, of course. Wow, look at that. Okay. So here we have ourselves a 3D fractal. And it also gave us a starry background, right? We didn't have that before.
No, we didn't. That's pretty. And all those errors on the right in the console, those are no longer relevant then.
No, indeed. If I yeah, it shows me the time 2:40. It's now already 2:40. Well, you can look at the time,
Because
but
I think if
yeah,
it throws an error, it wouldn't actually display the shader, right?
that's correct. And also here, if there was an error, we would see it appear over here. So I can go into the file, create an error, blah blah blah, save, and we see it over here as well. So that's also a nice way to see that in the current version there's no error. It's just nicely displaying the properties of the shader. Great. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe I wanna work with the larger structure of what's going on in Ableton Live. Basically, what I want to do is I want to take an image from another track and drag it, get it into this shader. So this shader can now combine images from multiple sources. That's what I want to do. So I'm just going to ask that as well. So I go back to the terminal and I say, actually, right now, are we happy with this background? I find it a little bit disconcerting, actually. Okay, let's say maybe I can take away the fractal for a bit. Just I want to focus on this for now, and I want to get rid of the starry sky. It's also some weird blocks. Okay, get rid of the background stars or whatever. Yeah, thank you.
Meanwhile, Philae Berlin says, I'm using Cursor IDE for generating generative ISF, which work really great.
Okay.
I would be interested to see more full-size creations like space and tunnel effects, maybe combined with webcam plus picture.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're going to, I guess we might multiply this one in some sense to make a tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
We can make a tunnel out of these cubes and we can maybe make this cube into a tunnel. Okay.
Yeah, just morph between it.
Oh, yeah, right, indeed. But I had another plan initially, and then we're going to go into the tunnel idea.
Sure,
but
sure.
put a pin on that, please. What was it going to do? Yeah, take another image. Let's give this shader a second image input. And we'll have half of the cube's sides be decorated. We'll have to have the cubes show that image. Enter. That is standard ISF stuff. So ISF shaders can take in multiple image, and then it's specific to the way that we have made Videosync. That in our case, that means that you can import images from another track into there as well. So meanwhile, while Claude Code is working on this, I can already give the inputs for the other track. We're gonna have the lava shader. So yeah, this is going to be a texture that I want to have on the other track. I'm going to set it to mute right now. Oh, look at that. I'm seeing that. Is this ready? Yes, it's ready. It is not doing exactly what I asked, but it does show us a black cube. So I think that maybe if I'm going, you see here now also that this shader says unused image input menus. So I open the configure window so I can actually show it. Oh, I see. It's now asking for two explicitly mentioned tracks. Okay. So here I said, let's call this one lava. And we call, here we have another one. We call this one Voronoi. And I'm going to drag a Voronoi effect on this one. Am I doing that? Again, here, Voronoi. Right. So Voronoi over here, lava over here. I'm going to mute both of them. And I'm going to import here. So here we're going to have lava. And there we see lava. And here we have Voronoi. Yay, that's awesome. And what I also want is that the original inputs that came in through this external in, that becomes that also gets represented here. So let me go back to the shader again, and to the Claude Code again, and say I also want the original inputs to occupy 1/3 of the planes. So let's have 2 planes for original input, 2 for image 1, 2 for image 2. Could have formulated that a little bit more nicely, but I think it'll get the point.
Yeah, I'm curious, how many separate inputs can we feed into an ISF shader like that?
Huh.
This would be 3, right?
It's now adding a third one, so it still didn't quite get what I was saying. I meant that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's see.
But okay, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to hammer this point home if it insists. I'll just take the external in, put that over here, mute this, and now go here back into this configure window. Oh yeah, here we are. Hello, open configure window. Oh yeah, it's a little bit annoying. This configure window disappears the moment that Ableton Live is not in focus. So if I click on the Videosync window, which is not Ableton, it disappears. So I need to click back on Ableton again, and there it is. So input image 3, external in, let's call this, actually rename it webcam. Here we go, input image 3, webcam. Okay, so great, now we have all 3 of them. Yeah, okay. Are we gonna go for a tunnel?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, cool. Or do we want to have the images Okay, I want to have them fade into each other a little bit.
Sure.
Before we do this. I want the images to fade into each other slightly. Let's add a fade parameter. Oh yeah, and obviously to state what's perhaps obvious, but maybe also not. Just to really just drive home the point of this being really, oh, look at that. This is exciting. This is so cool. Okay. Drive the point home. No, I don't want to do that just yet. Where is the size parameter, cube size? Yes. What's the point? Oh yeah, I was going to drive the point home of interactivity. So just envelope follower. Gonna search for that. Envelope follower. I'm gonna put that on here. I want to take audio from external in. Let's see. Audio from microphone. I want to have as input. Great. So here I just put this envelope follower device, which comes standard with Ableton. I chose sidechain because I want to have audio from that's not inside this track. So I took the audio from external in one. Great. Microphone input. Let us. Oh yeah, I need to. Yes. Now let us do this. Yes. And I'm going to map this to the spherishness or to the cube size, to the cube size. Yes, now we see that it is truly an interactive shader. And thanks to Ableton and its envelope follower, we are coupling them together, audio and visuals. And you can make it a little nicer. So now it's a little bit less hectic as it falls more gradually and smoothly. You can also make the rise. Now it is a little bit more smooth and it's yeah, kind of sexy, I think. Great. So yeah, truly an interactive shader format. Oh yeah, an image fade. Okay. It's a little bit disappointing that when I set the image fade to 0, it doesn't become completely hard edge. I could ask that, but I can also just not ask it and focus on the tunnel for now. I'm gonna turn off the envelope follower just for a bit, because otherwise I get distracted by my own voice being amplified in this way the whole time, and then I can't speak anymore. So, how shall we make a tunnel? Do we want to sort of like burrow a tunnel through this sphere, or do we want to make a...
that you would call a donut.
Yes, indeed. Do you want this to be a donut? No. We want to have tunnel, like we want to go full 3D space. Whoa, what's going on right now? I'm dizzy and everything. Yes, okay. Let's make a parameter that turns this into a... I was going to say psychedelic tunnel, but I don't want to make it do too much at once, because I do want to have some control over it. Yeah, that turns this into a tunnel. By the way, also one of the things, yeah, if you would, there is quite a high chance that if, for instance, from scratch, I want it to make a, let's say, a Voronoi algorithm. Like we got the Voronoi is like this shape over here. That's that we have in there. So if you want to have if you tell a shader, tell Claude that you want to create a Voronoi algorithm, there is of course the issue with AI and with its scraping data from places and everything. Even though Claude is way better than, for instance, ChatGPT is, there is in general just still this issue that it takes data, knowledge from human beings, and it sort of like mixes them all up, and then all of a sudden it's me who profits from them. But unlike the olden days, where you would just look up code online, know who it was that gave you this knowledge, perhaps you could also credit them and everything. That is way less transparent in this situation, and I don't really know what to first say about that, except for the fact that that kind of does suck, and I'm also profiting from it, and it's kind of a confusing thing. I think that there might be. It would be possible to just ask. Shall we ask on whose work is the algorithm we're now using based, and can we credit them in the code? Let's try to get AI to be nice. Let's see. I'm actually really curious what's going to come out here.
Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
the tunnel request got expanded.
Okay.
Multiplying the cube, which flies 3D in a tunnel optic. Bang.
Okay. You need to repeat that to me again in a second.
Sure.
But this is really fucking awesome what it just did.
Did it?
It didn't just even put comments in the code, it actually added it to the credits category and into the description. So here it says, so we do have a limited amount of space here, but it says SEF functions and ray marching techniques by Inigo Quiles, and that is awesome because Inigo Quiles is a genius who has really helped the shader community, yeah, massively. So that is so cool that you can actually just ask the AI to credit the people, and it does a pretty good job here. So STF functions, ray marching by Inigo Quiles, even the website. Thank you. This is great. Honor and glory to Inigo Quiles. Thank you. And the original Mandelbulb fractal. Yeah. So great. Awesome. Yeah, so maybe if you think of it, respect the people who came before and who made all of this possible. Without those people, AI would have no idea how to do this. Okay, so yes, we are going into the. Why is this even? Is this? Why is it even saying rename this file to cubetunnel.fs? That's like the suggested thing. How does it even know that I'm thinking of tunnels? Is it okay? Let's just not think about that too much. What is the specific request, Jean-Paul? Can you tell me?
All right. Multiplying the cube, which flies 3D in a tunnel optic.
What does that even mean?
That's what's written here.
Okay. Multiply the. You tell me. You multiply the cube.
Multiplying the cube,
Yeah.
which flies 3D
3D
in a tunnel optic.
in a tunnel
Tunnel.
optic. I know what a tunnel optic is, but let's see what that's.
I guess like a lens kind of effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe it's also a term that all other visual artists know, and it's just me who's lacking in knowledge.
um, can you ask it to incorporate any real-world physics like bounce, gravity control, wind?
Wow, yeah. I think I can ask that, and it might even be able to do it, but I'm wondering if that's gonna be efficient to do in a fragment shader. Let's see.
Ah.
Because what I'm imagining is that then it would have to probably calculate the gravity and physics anew for every single pixel. So for every pixel on the screen, it's going to do all the physics. So that's why I'm wondering how efficient that would be. I could imagine that's something that you might rather want to calculate in max MSP and then maybe make your own little device that uses ISF shaders within max MSP. Because we with Videosync, we also have our SDK, the software development kit that stands for, right? We have our SDK, and also we have the instructions in the tutorial, and then we've got some examples also that you can look into, where you can see how to use this type of programming of your own shaders within a context of your own Videosync instrument or effect. So basically, then you don't need to use ISF shader anymore, but you've got your own thing with your own parameters and your own interface and whatnot. And then you could also start incorporating stuff like perhaps physics within the way that it operates with parameters and all that kind of stuff, outside of the context of this creative session. But yeah, that would be the way I would go if I had loads of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I add something to there?
Uh-huh.
You quickly mentioned not using ISF shader, but you mean not using this device ISF shader. But
Yes. That's exactly right.
right,
Yes.
but you can
Yes.
build your own Max for Live device around an
Yeah.
ISF shader file, the
Yeah.
code of a shader,
Yeah.
and instead of using this sort of general use device that we made and provided, you can build your own effect or instrument using the plugin SDK. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
All right, sorry to interrupt.
Oh my God! Look at that. It's not really morphing in the way that I expected, but it did get the image, the idea of the tunnel. Okay. Image fade, tunnel speed, cube count. Whoa! Hey, that's great. Oh. Okay. Let's maybe make the cube size a little bit less. Okay. Yeah. Great.
I love it when we fly into your mouth.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Nice. There's okay. Now there's this by the way is great. Let's actually make it a little bit brighter. Can we make it all a little bit brighter? Oh, light intensity. What happens if? Oh, okay, that's interesting. Um, I mean, of course, I don't need to do everything inside this thing either. Of course, if I now want to have it brighter, of course, you could add Claude Code to make it a little bit brighter, which may will be good practice. But what we could also do is just go to our own effects, because let's not forget that we've got the whole rest of the Videosync ecosystem as well that we can use. And I'm just going to add a color utility over here, add some brightness. Yeah, awesome. So we have that. Maybe add some contrast. Ooh, that's a little bit much. Okay, so we can do that as well. Okay, so what am I not liking right now? Okay, I like the tunnel. This is great. Let's go to our normal. Okay, to our normal. Let's go. Okay. What did I want to do? Right. So what I just noticed just now is that when I change the speed, when I change the tunnel speed, but also when I change the rotation speed, you see how it becomes very erratic. I know with 99.9% certainty why that is, but actually let's look at rotation speed. Okay, now we can look into the code, because sometimes, even when you're dealing with amazing AI that can do a lot of stuff for you, it's also, of course, very helpful to have some idea of what's going on in the code. What's the speed parameter doing? Because it doesn't just speed up what's going on, it just makes everything go haywire. So rotation speed, gonna go into the file. Let's search this term, find rotation speed. Float T is time times rotation speed, and then T is used where. Okay, whatever. I don't even care that much what the details of that implementation are. This already tells me, I think, what I need to know. It takes the time, so that's I think just seconds. So it goes 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then times rotation speed. And if you have, let's say, we're now at second 4,361. If you're at that second and you go and you multiply that not by 1 but by 2, so you went from rotation state 1 to 2, then you multiply the whole amount of time that has passed. So basically it doesn't speed up from this point in time, but it imagines that the total amount of time that passed is now multiplied, because this is the total amount of time that's passed, and now that's being multiplied. What I would rather want it to do is that it just starts multiplying time from that point onwards. So how do we do that? Let's ask. Because honestly, I don't even fully know how to do that. Not within the context of an ISF shader. Yes, give me some C++ code and I might be able to figure that out, but not in this context. So let's see. When I change rotation speed, the total elapsed time is multiplied. This causes erratic behavior when when an amount of time has passed. How can we prevent this and make it that the speed increases slash less changes is the common term for that, speed changes smoothly? That might be too big an ask, because basically what's needed for this is that it remembers where it was in time in a previous frame, and it's now going to add an X amount of time per second in the following frames. So basically now I'm asking it to have a memory, and that is difficult. But it has an idea. It says ISF supports persistent buffers for this. Let me refactor. Accumulator buffer. Yeah, accumulation is indeed what we want. We want to accumulate time, not just multiply. So far, this looks good. Like, at least it understands the general vibe, the general idea of where we need to go. And I would be surprised if it immediately knows exactly what's if it will work in one go. And so far, actually, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't make a single mistake. I would have actually hoped by now that we've had to that we'd encounter a mistake and I would have to debug. I mean, this doesn't mean that Claude will not make mistakes. It definitely does, and I've experienced that many, many, many times. But yeah, so far it's been quite successful, this session. Okay, indeed, we see nothing. I see nothing. And I'm just going to tell it. So let's debug. Indeed, actually, it's great that I was just complaining that I wasn't making any mistakes. This is a proper nothing scene.
But what is it, because there is an error, or is it?
Actually, there's no error. Like because I didn't see anything pop up here. There's this here, but this is still from 2044. Yeah, that's. I'll just delete it so that's also
just
clear.
Checking.
Yes, indeed. I see nothing. No, let's be very specific. It's great to be super specific. I see just because if I see nothing, then it would tell me to go to the doctor, perhaps. No, it wouldn't be such a smart ass, but yeah. Okay, I just see black. What do I say now? Yes, let's debug this together. You can use colors, for instance, and and I can tell you what I see until we figure this out. Something like that. Let's start simple. I'll make the shader output a solid color. Yes, great. I see. Just yes. Do you see bright pink? Yes. We have a console over here. Nice, 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 nice. Step by step, it is seeing where things go wrong. What do you see now? You should be animating colors. Oh, not red-yellow cycling. Okay, I see uh, only red cycling. Good, the accumulator is working for rotation. Oh, okay. What do you see? Should now be a white shape on a darker background. No. Seeing just black. Again. Okay, so it's adding some debugging code. No, still black.
Does everything still look okay in the configure window
Uh,
of the shader?
oh yeah, here you mean?
Yeah.
In
No,
this-
on the left side. If there are any parameters that are perhaps or should be on a different value than they are now.
Yeah, that's a good question. Cube size. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't change the values here either, so I guess it should be okay. Well, whatever. Still black. Nice.
Yeah, we can slowly start getting angry towards it.
Actually, I just, it was, it proposes answers. So it already was posing the answer still black. So I just did tab. What do you see now? No, still black. There is also sometimes this phenomenon that once specific also because I'm not right now really not looking at the code. Oh, sometimes you can just go to a rabbit hole where it just doesn't find its way out anymore because it just sort of like sometimes it doesn't. It's not that great in taking a step back okay. Should see a red, green, yellow gradient. What do you see? Just yellow. So maybe there's something going on with the way that is looking at coordinates. Okay. Do I see the dark? Okay, now it's asking if I see almost black or black. You know what? I'm going to just take this opportunity to show another shader that we have, which is actually really great also in this context. And I'm happy that I'm not thinking of showing that. So another shader, factory, and let's go down to, it's called measure utility. Yes, this is a shader that I made just for my own development process in Videosync, because sometimes I really don't know exactly which color what has, and that can be sometimes hard to, yeah, you can to see. So right now, okay, let's actually open the configure window here, and let's do a gradient. Sorry, this is just a tiny little detour. So I'm just letting the gradient image go through this shader that I set to measure utility. I open this configure window of the measure utility, and here we see that I can start measuring the color of every single pixel on the screen. These top two numbers tell me the coordinates, where it goes from 0, 0, yeah, from 0, 1, I guess, yes. Yeah, exactly. See, coordinates. And this here is red, green, and blue. Largest aspect here is blue. There's quite some green, almost no red over here. So this is a nice way to perhaps also debug what's going on if you want to see, be very precise and seeing what's going on where. And they can also feed back this information into your AI if you're using that. So that's just my little detour. Turn this off again, no more measure color. Turn this one on again. And okay, again, turn measure color on. We clearly see red, green, and blue are all 0. So it's pure black. This is not very dark. This is actually black, black. So back to Claude Code.
Well, hey, it now says that there are unused image inputs.
Hey, good point. Very good point. Thank you. Yeah, indeed. Okay. Okay.
There's one blinking up there.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know why I lost that, but Lava, Voronoi, and webcam. So that now we know that at least that's not the issue. And it's not showing anything. Okay, good, but that's good to know. What color do you see? It's fully black. It says render size is 1 times 1 might be the problem. I don't know what that means, but sure. Okay. What do I see now? Let's do measure color again. Red and blue. No, red and green are 0.6, 0.5. Okay. Red 0.6, blue 0.5. Ooh, okay. This is at least a gradient. Looks like it's. Do you see gray now? Black, bottom left, red, green top. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, I see that. Ugh, nope. Nope. It would be nice to end this on a high note. Black. Right? This is black? Yeah, this is completely black. Black. I'm wondering when is the point that I should give up. Blue. Red. Mhm. Sure, this looks correct. That is a little bit of red and green, because red and green together makes yellow. Yes, it's yellow. Okay, great. Yes, it's red. I even forgot what we were doing. What is the end result of this? Oh, ooh, look, we got something circlish. That's great. But what were we even working towards? I kind of like really lost track of what we're doing right now.
Maybe you could just scroll up
Oh yeah,
in your conversation with Claude.
yeah. Or I can just ask it. Can you scroll up
What
for me and
what
and
were we
plant
doing
it?
again?
Yes, and plant it to my brain. Can you please think for me? And I'll go lie down now. Okay. No, doesn't the sphere does not still show. No, it doesn't show. Oh wait, actually, I need to go back right now. Okay, because see, I'm now seeing that this here happens. So apparently there was an error here, and me just saying I'm just seeing black over and over again, while not sharing this error means that right now it's going down a rabbit hole that's completely unnecessary, likely because the error was somewhere else. So now I can double press ask and go back to my previous parts of the conversation. So let's go to this no, and I say restore code and conversation, and we see that the error is still there. Again, double ask. I go back to this yes, start current conversation. Okay, so it's just the thing. Okay, so now again. So I basically went back in time to this part and this part in the code of a conversation as well, which is great that you can go back in the code as well. That's a really lovely addition that is recently introduced in the Claude Code. So yes, I see the white circle. And now I need to really keep an eye on this here. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna copy paste that. Copy, I did Command C, doing paste over here. I'll assume that it understands that this is the error message. Yay! So that's great. This was actually exactly the thing that I was still missing from this current demonstration, that we can also feed back the error code into it. I see a white circle. It really gives me the answer. So it is top, accept this standard answer. I see a white circle. I mean, technically speaking, it's more grayish, but whatever. Hey, okay, so we are back where we were, and I have no idea. Yes, yes, yes. No, seriously, what were we doing? Do I see a cube shape? I guess if I did, yeah, sure, I see that. I also love how it's sometimes interesting how it's fading. Okay, back to here. Yes. Oh, right. Accumulation values. That's what we're doing. We're making it so that I could change the speed and I wouldn't start jumping around like crazy. Ah, yes, it does. It does still show and rotate. Does that mean that we got ourselves a proper rotation speed? Let's see. Yes, I'm increasing the speed and I'm decreasing the speed. This is amazing. This is exactly what we were after.
Took us a while,
Okay.
but we got there.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed, and I'm very happy because that made this feel like it's actually helpful and that I'm not wasting your time, but I'm showing you guys how to work through this. That's great. Now, okay, now I just want to have some fun. Now let's make an energy field that's super flashy around the shape, perhaps manga style. Just let's see what it's gonna do if I do that. Yeah, but that's seriously, this is a true victory, and this will happen here. maybe not for not that anybody else would see it as such, but knowing how much of a shitty thing memory is in shader language, often to me this feels like this is really great. True. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Let's not mess with. Yeah. Exactly. I don't want to be in a editing war with AI. But absolutely. I can still just open the file and see. Just start seeing where it is. Q amount, rotation speed. Exactly. Max 2. I can just change the max here. But but I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay. Cool. Max. Uh, 10. Save. Yep. That is. I can even do 100. Ooh, yes. Um, okay, and then actually, let's go to rotation speed. Where is it? Uh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do power rotation speed, comma 2. I'm gonna do it to the power of 2. Basically, I'm squaring it, and I'm gonna set the max of rotation speed to 10. So 10 by 10 ends up being 100. So the maximum speed is still the same, but what is different when you square it is you get a very different type of curve, which means, and that's the other type of curve basically means that when I'm in low values, I can still be quite subtle. See, the maximum speed is incredibly fast, but when I go to the lower value, it doesn't mean that going from 0 to 0.01 immediately gives me like a super hard speed already. Because you can imagine that if you basically, you can see me, right? I'm in the bottom left corner. You can go for a linear, that's what it originally was. I think maybe it's from your side, from right to left, it would be like this. Yes. So you can go linear, that it goes from 0 speed to 1 max. But if you square it, it gets that shape of that curve gets a little bit more like that. So in the beginning, you have a more subtle curve, and towards the end, you start really ramping up that speed. So now you can go both in subtle, smooth ways and super fast, and anything in between. That's often the curve of the parameter that you're using is of very high importance for the usability of the parameter at all. Yeah, so that's actually really good to take into account. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can also ask Claude, obviously, but this time we did it ourselves. Okay. Oh, energy intensity. Let's look at energy intensity. Where is it over here? Oh, damn. See it. We've got a lot of stuff here. But energy. Wow. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah. Okay. And rotation speed. Wow, it goes along with rotation. That is so cool. Yeah. Now, one more thing. This is beautiful. Now I want a whole lots of these shapes, all with all with this energy around them, and they should form a tunnel that we're traveling through. This is just to make a nice little final bang before we close off this session. But I just want to go full hypersonic, uh, beyond space and time, all that stuff. And just also, I guess as is doing this, I can just also have some other fun over here. I can put other stuff on top of this. What happens if I do a feedback here? Now it became all, yeah. And I can do this. So this is not even me playing with the shader anymore. This is just putting it inside the rest of the Ableton Live ecosystem. Rotate it a little bit. We difference. Sure. Well, okay. Okay, yes. Just to remind everybody again, including myself, that this hyper focus on one shader is great, but in the end, what you can also do, of course, is make a bunch of these and see how they interact together. So you're not stuck so purely to the abilities of the AI, and you yourself are kind of like just trying to navigate it with some prompting into some direction that you want. You can also just make smaller elements with this type of prompting and then still make your very own thing where you're much more in control by automating these parameters, by putting these things together in certain orders that you like, or having they're putting them in different tracks and blending them and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can regain control as well. And that's, of course, the ideal if AI actually expands your amount of control instead of letting you lose track of it altogether. Um, okay, where were we? What did it do? Terminal. Each cube in the tunnel, it has its own energy fields. Yeah, I just see that as everything's brighter right now. Is there anything here in this energy speed? Tunnel speed. I don't know, man. I'm not seeing it.
Wait, do we need to turn up the tunnel parameters?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is already the second time to doing any tunnel stuff, right? So there's no this.
Look at that.
This, yeah, this is the original tunnel that we have, but it's kind of cool.
But not the tunnel you wanted.
No, this is another tunnel. Yeah. Oh, but here are multiple cubes. Well,
Yeah, maybe that's how it interpreted it. Just to
yeah,
use this tunnel
yeah.
instead.
Cube spacing. Hey, there is something weird.
Yeah, I think it needs to be in a tunnel for that before you see all the other ones.
Yeah, I think that might be correct. And it's so bright. Okay, cube spacing. Huh.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what we asked for, but it is really interesting.
Those are not cubes.
No, indeed. But we don't have, yeah, damn. This is really interesting. Uh, okay, whatever. Okay, this is the
Oh,
let's
we went
just say.
we went to a higher plane with this.
Yeah, right. It did exactly what we wanted, but it just can't properly show it to us because it's actually an eight-dimensional reality, and we have only two dimensions through the screen to witness it on. So, success, and that is, I don't know. I'm kind of like done showing what I think that I need to show. Maybe there's questions, comments, other things that other people want to see, know, whatever. So the floor is back to you guys.
Yeah, no, I think there's no real questions that have come in since the last time that I mentioned it.
Mhm.
So yeah, no questions. I think everybody was following along, being entertained by this journey of yours.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was, at least. So yeah, I don't know. If there are no questions, then yeah, we've been at it for like 90 minutes already.
Yeah, and it couldn't have been any shorter. That's also kind of clear to me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
definitely fun, and yeah, we're gonna keep doing this, guys, every month. We're a little bit
Mhm.
early this time, but we'll be back. I guess. Yeah, when March is around the corner. And we'll have to see what we're gonna do then. Maybe get
Yeah.
another guest in here.
Yeah.
Wait, was that refresher on what AI to? Yeah, you need. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Sorry, Charlie.
Oh, what AI to use? The
Oh,
Y
to
is supposed
use.
to you. Yes,
All right,
yes,
there you
yes.
go. What AI to
Uh,
use?
I like there's open source AIs as well, and I do not know their names. There's some that might also be quite good that are open source. Like Claude is not the only one that I would think is sort of like ethically at least not terrible, because most of the shit is actually terrible and it's going to kill us all and it's going to ruin the world. I'm being hyperbolic right now, not necessary, but obviously there's dangers there. I think Claude is a relatively good one, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the only good one. So I'm not a general expert, but for me personally, Claude is the way to go. Yeah.
All right. Antonio is saying, send us the file.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, will do. We'll post it on the forum. Jean-Paul, tell us what the forum is, and I'll make sure that's going to be on there by tomorrow morning at least.
Sure.
Hmm?
Forum.showsync.com, ladies and gentlemen.
What did you say? Forum.showsync.com?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Great.
Yep. So we'll post it there. Any recommendations for ISF Shader websites?
Oh, yes. So what do we have? What do we have? Where's my browser again? Browser again. We got one shader. One shader. There it is. Oneshader.net. Which is a new one by a fellow Dutch person called Reinder. Yeah, here he is, Reinder, who makes who makes shaders, and this is a shader by that is how you call it, contributed by Matthijs, also a Showsync colleague of us, so also one of the co-developers of Videosync. So yeah, this is a site where you can have shaders in general, but also ISF shaders, like exactly the thing that I was showing just now.
Yeah.
What other shader websites are there? It's like
One
ISF.
shader is still particularly new. It doesn't have a lot of ISF shaders yet, but it's a really nice website.
Right. One shader is a kind of new one, and there what ISF dot no what?
Yeah, editor.isf.
Yeah, is that the other one?
ISF.editor. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit more.
That's the main one, really, for ISF
Yeah.
shaders.
Yeah, you can download a whole bunch of them recent. Yeah. Yeah. Also, indeed, if you there's something, for instance, that you would like to achieve with your ISF shader and you don't know how to do it, but you see that somebody else has been able to achieve something like that. This, by the way, is where you get into very ethically murky situations. Because on the one hand, these people are putting their stuff online because they want you to learn. Like, it's not like you're stealing their stuff just by using it. But if you're gonna sort of like rip that stuff through AI and not give proper credit and everything, it just gets a little bit shitty. So use it. Perhaps also tell your AI, look, this is how that person did it. I want to use something like that as well. But also then be nice and credit them in these credits, as you saw that can be given here, like we see here. Yeah. Be nice, be kind, and have fun.
Yeah. And see you next time.
Yeah. Yeah. See you next time.
See you next time. Yeah, there are no real more questions, and I think it's a good moment to close the stream. So thanks everybody for joining us again tonight. Thank you, Tarik, for the extensive. Oh boy, I'm at a loss for words, but whatever that was. This intense dialogue with Claude.
Yeah.
And losing our thoughts and getting back to them. All that. And back again. All right. So see you next time, guys. Thanks for joining. And have a great rest of your day.
Mm-hmm. Cool. See you next time.